Hi, I am feeling inspired. I'm about to go to the gym, but I wanted to get this out now and just go ahead and say this before I lose my nerve. I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and we were talking about the situation in the States and how scary things are for our country. And I was encouraging them that, they have a grandparent that is from Europe. And I was like, well, if that's the case, then you could probably apply to get, I don't know if it would be residency or citizenship. I guess it's different for each country, right? But the point of it was to encourage them to make their plans. Go ahead and get your passport, get the resident, apply for residency, apply for that second passport if you can get it. Now is the time. And one thing they said has been percolating in my mind because I've heard other people say it, and they were like, I see everything that's happening. I understand that fascism has now taken a pretty strong hold within the United States. But there's this part of me that's holding on and just, I keep thinking, well, it might get a little bit worse, but I'm sure things will get better. I'm sure like things are going to work out. There'll be some politicians or other folks on the other side that will fight, and we're going to be all right. I'm thinking it'll get better. It'll get better. I'm sure it'll get better. And it made me think of another conversation with another friend who said something similar. She was just like, well, you know, and this was shortly after that regime rose to power. And she said, I'm thinking it'll probably be pretty bad here for a couple of years and then they'll be voted out. And then we'll go back to normal. We'll be fine. We just have to wait it out. We just have to wait it out. And I I would love to be um so Pollyanna and optimist. I would love that. But when we look at the response from our friends overseas, the response from our brothers and sisters who have experienced fascism in their own country, who have experienced this type of tyranny, they are very clear. They're like, this is familiar. We know how this ends. It's very much like, do you know you have 30 minutes? It's very much like Molly, you and Danger Girl, okay? And I guess I just want to like say that I feel incredibly blessed and privileged that I was able to get residency for myself in another country. And I also, this past year, worked to get residency for my mother. And because of that, if it came down to it, there's a path for us to get residency for the rest of my immediate family. And I wanted to do that. It was my honor to do that because I've studied history, I paid attention in class, and I see what's potentially coming down the road. And as much as I would love to believe that it'll only be a few bad years and then we'll be able to, move on. I don't think that's going to be the case. And I think it's time, now that we've seen what's happened in Minnesota, in Los Angeles, and Chicago, and in so many other major cities and other areas across the country, I think it's time for people to really get clear, get clear on what you're going to do. For those of you who feel that the United States is your home. You're going to stay and fight for your country. I commend you. God bless you. You've got your work cut out for you. And I'm not saying that facetiously. I'm, I mean that. Um, but for those of you who might be on the fence, I would say do your research, do your work. If you are a Black woman, listen, free game. If you're a Black woman and you are looking for, um, if you have a family, you're worried because you have family or you have elders you have to take care of and all of these different things, um, that make you feel like I can't leave, I can't leave, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I'd encourage you to look up Exodus Summit. It is a community of Black women started by Stephanie Perry and Roshida Dowe. I'm going to put their information in the description box. Um, Go ahead and join their community. They used to be on Facebook. They've since left Facebook. They're on another app. And there is a $1 fee, and that is not $1 per month, $1. No, it is literally you have to pay $1 one time in order to join. Again, this is a community specifically for Black women, and the focus is on giving you the support you need and the information to either become a digital nomad, take a year off, take a break, house sit, move abroad. That is literally all they talk about. And they have so many resources. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because my situation, I'm a single woman with no children, and I understand that that is an incredible privilege. I don't have to consult with anyone if I want to do anything. And I know that that is not the case for many women um, in my demographic. A lot of y'all have spouses, you have children, you have elderly parents, right? Like there's a lot going on there. Um, and I want you to feel like you have some resources. So I'm going to put those links in the description box, the link for Rashida Dow's channel, for Stephanie Perry, and for Exodus Summit. I have gone to Exodus Summit every year for the past 3 years, 3 or 4 years. And even though I have already lived abroad, I've lived abroad several times, I still attend their summits because they talk about real, tangible ways to make this dream a reality. Um, and of course, I'm going to continue to share my story on this channel. Love for you to stick around for that. But if you feel you are not getting what you need here, please, please understand that it is possible. It's possible for you to go, even if you have children, even if you have a spouse, even if you have elderly or, older parents that you have to take care of. I've heard stories of women who have made it possible, who have left um, with their kids and their pets and their parents in tow. So it can be done. But I'm saying this now because, like, I know people, especially when it comes to Black folks, there are some people who say, well, we are resting. This is not our fight. And that's true up to a certain point. Um, but the issue is that what's happening in the streets is happening to all kinds of people now. It's not just concentrated on one population. And I think that's the wake up call. I think that's the what is it, like clarion call? That's the wake up call a lot of people are getting. And I want us to understand, Black people, Black Americans, we were brought to the United States as chattel slavery, or in within chattel slavery. Um, and that was a unique experience for our people, for our community, for our ancestors. We were not seen as humans. And for as long as the United States has been a thing, has been established, we have had to prove over and over and over and over and over and over again that we are equal human beings. And this administration is making it abundantly clear that they do not see anyone but a certain demographic as full human beings. And they're proving it to us. They've been proving it to us ever since we were brought over. Like, come on. I do not believe that any of our ancestors would be upset if we decided to go, if we decided to leave a place that has never truly made us feel welcome. So that said, that's my spiel, that's my soapbox, that's my message. If you have questions about leaving the United States, if you have questions about gaining residency, if you have thoughts, feelings, whatever, leave it in the comments. And I will respond to as many as I possibly can. I just, I want for more of us to find a place in this world where we can live in peace and our children can be safe and our loved ones can be safe. And the United States right now is not it.